This video is going to be about my LA journey. Moving to LA and moving to another city in general is a big deal. And it took me a long time to move to LA. It was like always funny because I'm, from Austin, and I would tell my friends and stuff, yeah, well, I'm moving to LA next year. Next year would come around. Oh, well, I'm still like saving my money. I'm moving to LA. People started laughing because they're like, dang, Fumi, like it's been 5 years. When are you moving to LA? And so, but the reason why it took me so long is because moving to LA is a big deal. I was living at home with my parents and I was like 30. I was in my late 20s, early 30s, living at home with my parents. So to up and then move to a whole nother city is a lot. And so, I was working. I wasn't really making that much money at all, but the money I was making, I was saving and then paying my car note and paying my little student loans and all these other little bills I had to pay. And I was like, okay, when I get to 10,000, I'm going to move to LA. But even then, I was still like scared, like, okay, you get to $10,000, but that money can go fast and you need another job when you get to LA. So I was working at Austin PBS in 2018 and I was steadily saving my money. And I was like, okay, when I get to $10,000, I'm gonna move to LA. And then I did eventually get to that point, but I was still scared to move to LA because while I was at Austin PBS, I was applying to jobs in LA, but I was not getting any traction. Like I was just applying to jobs from Indeed and like LinkedIn, just all these jobs. Like I made this spreadsheet and there's probably like 50 to 75 jobs. And like, I think one person responded to me, but it wasn't enough money. I was scared because I didn't want to go to LA and not have any other money coming. Yeah, I have my savings, but what about when your savings runs out? And then, I was like, I wanted to go to LA with a job, a video production producer, some type of job. And I was just really scared. And then I was just scared of leaving home too, because I was worried. Sometimes when I leave to other cities, I get a lot of anxiety. And so I was worried about anxiety and depersonalization and derealization, because those things have come up when I've left places. So I ended up going to a therapist to help me process moving to LA and how to get ready and make a plan for LA. And so I went to this therapist. It was $150 a session. And I said, I'm going to do like 6 or 7 sessions. I ended up doing 4 sessions because we were able to kind of figure it out in 4. But yeah, I sat down with her and at first she was scaring me because she was like, you need to get a job when you go to LA because, baby, if you don't get this money coming in, it's not going to be pretty for you in LA. And I left her office more anxious. I said, what? She was like, baby, are you sure you want to move to LA? I was like, but it ended up, what she was doing was she was just like putting in my face real life things and what LA really means. And she told me that separation anxiety is something I probably have, and that's why when I go to different places, my anxiety increases. So she was telling me what it sounded like with separation anxiety. And so at first, like I said, she told me what she needed. She helped me come up with a plan, just basically like saving more money and like I need to get a job, which I knew already. And she told me that I had separation anxiety. After about 4 sessions, I was like, okay, I got what I needed. You helped me put some things in perspective. Just talking to someone, allows you to process. And so fast forward, this was like 2019 or 2018 when I went to see her. I think 2019. Fast forward 2020, I ended up, moving to LA. And when I sat and thought about it later on in the year, I was like, I don't have any anxiety. because I was worried about having anxiety, not because of the job situation. I was just worried about having anxiety being in a new place, because in the past when I've moved to new places, I've gotten anxiety, and I thought maybe it's and so she was saying it's separation anxiety, and going to a place where you don't really know too many people. But when I was in LA, when I moved to LA, I was like, I don't have any anxiety. I was like, I think going to her helped me, and I didn't realize it fully at the time. And then I still actually see her for other things, and she's just like a really good Black woman therapist that's like just amazing. And baby, her prices are now $200 a session, but I understand because she's one of the best. So anyways, yeah, so okay, let me tell y'all how I moved to LA. So I quit my job at Austin PBS in 2019 because I was like, no, I'm moving to LA. I got my money together. I'm moving to LA. I was telling people I was moving. I went to go visit LA and stuff like that, but I hadn't officially moved there yet because I was just like, where am I going to stay? Like money, like I need a job. I was still applying to jobs and everything. And then March 2020, the pandemic. So let me tell you, the pandemic happened, y'all. So I was like, well, I can't go to LA now. So I was like, what are we gonna do? But let me tell you what happened. So I ended up, there was this tweet that Odera found. My girlfriend Odera, she was on a website and like a blog, and she saw a tweet, and it was like a tweet of this like a Black editor or Black producer saying, hey, we're putting together a virtual event for Black editors to network and get to basically to network. Because what had happened was there was this Facebook group called I Need an Editor. I didn't know anything about this, y'all. So I'm learning all this and stuff at the time. There's this Facebook group called I Need an Editor, and I'm paraphrasing because my memory's a little fuzzy, but basically like this white man was complaining that there was a job post where they were looking to hire more Black and POC people. And they're like, so the white editors were like, in the comments, they're like, white male editors are like, it shouldn't matter the color of your skin. Only thing that should matter is your skill set. Like, this is discrimination. Like, if you're a good editor, you're a good editor. What does it matter about your skin color? Being completely oblivious to the fact that white men are usually given the most opportunities, and that we as a society need to be actively hiring and looking out for people of all color, Black people and other POC. They just like completely, just like as if we live in this ideal world where there's no racism and discrimination. In an ideal world where there's no racism and discrimination, and everybody has the same equal opportunities, and there's no discrepancy when it comes to hiring women and Black people and other POC, then okay, yeah, just hire an editor. But that's not the world we live in. It's good to have, really good to have Black people tell their own stories. So anyways, okay, so boom. I was reading that little tweet, right? And so that tweet was referencing, that tweet came about because of that post in I Need an Editor. And so these Black people were like, man, let's create this networking event and have Black editors, come meet other people from the industry that are looking to hire Black editors to empower us and to bring us opportunities, because that was like whack, like what those people were doing in that Facebook group. So thanks to Odera, I saw that tweet and I responded to the tweet. I think I said something like, hey, I'm a Black video editor. Here's my website. They hit me up and they're like, hey, we're doing this networking event, this Zoom, and we want you to meet a bunch of editors and stuff. And so I said, all right, I'm cool with, let's do it. So I joined the Zoom, and there were some white editors, Black editors, all editors, and a lot of the people in the group that were speaking were saying how they want to help Black editors get jobs and stuff like that. So I was just listening. I shared my information with them afterwards. Also, after that event, they said, fill out this form if you want a mentor. And so I did. I filled out the form. I got an email and they were connecting me with a mentor in LA. And I met my mentor, who I love so much. Her name is Aziza. And she messaged me and we got on the phone and talked. And I told her about my goals and stuff like that. And then she told me about this group that she runs for Black women editors. And I was in that group. I joined that group. And I met people in that group, and then through that group, I found a job with Quibi, and I sent my resumes to them. And so then I had an interview. Then I got a job with Quibi, and this was in August 2020. And they're like, "Do you live in LA?" And I was like, "Yes." Knowing I was in Austin, Texas, but baby, I was just about to move to LA. I've been waiting for 6 years for a job in LA. So I was like, yes, I live in LA. And they're like, okay, well, can you be here can you start at this time, blah, blah, blah. Can you start at this date? And I was like, you ain't saying nothing but a word, baby. And they said the pay is $600 a day. I said, when I tell me why I thought I was becoming a millionaire. I ain't never made $600 a day, ever. No. I was like, what is going on? I was literally just like, $600 a day? And they said it was for 12 or 13 weeks. I said, babe, you ain't saying nothing but a word. When I tell you, I packed my little car. My friend Cullen came through. My friend Cullen came with me, and we drove to LA. So basically, that's really what happened. Like, I got the job, and they said it starts like September something, and so I left Austin like a week before the job started, and we drove to LA. And as far as where I stayed, so I had a friend who is a traveling nurse, and she was actually in Austin at the time on assignment as a traveling nurse for COVID. But she lived in LA, so in Studio City specifically, which I love Studio City. And so her place was empty because, she had to just like up and leave and come to Austin, and she was here for like several months. So I called her and told her a situation. It's like, hey, we need a place to stay, me and my friend Cullen, until like I get settled and stuff, and I can pay you, da da da. And she was like, you ain't saying nothing but a word. So I met up with her in Austin so she could give me the key to her apartment, and me and Cullen drove through West Texas. Lost service and stuff, but it was cool because we had each other, and we drove, through the little states, Arizona or New Mexico, wherever. Then we made it to LA, and child, the rest is history. And so I was just so elated. I was so stressed out working on the project because I was new to a lot of stuff, but I was happy to be in LA, but I was just really stressed out. But I felt so blessed and grateful. And then when the big checks started coming in, I said, love to see it. And I thought I was a multimillionaire. I said, I ain't got to worry about nothing again. I felt like I signed the NBA contract. That $600 a day, I said, is this doctor money? No, I'm playing. It's not even. But anyways, so yeah, but guess what? So like a few weeks into that job or something, Quibi said they was shutting down. I was like, I was bothered because I was like, dang, like that $600 a day, that, you know what I'm saying? Like that $3,000 a week. Like, wait a minute now. But I was still like putting my trust in God, and I still had my savings that wasn't really. I think I touched a little bit, but remember that I had like $10,000 in savings, so I still had that. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna figure it out. I got a few of these little $3,000 checks from Quibi. I said, I'm gonna figure something out. But I met a producer. So what ended up happening is I met a producer, super dope. I love her, on the Quibi project. So after the Quibi project, she hit me up. She's like, "Oh, Fumi, I'm working on this project for YouTube Originals, branded." I was like, "You ain't saying nothing but a word." And I did a little interview with them, and they told me like, what they was talking about, and it was a dope project. And I said, "Yeah, all right." And so I did that. And then, yeah, and that was great. That was great. I met a lot of great people. And so basically, after that, I got another project. Projects just kept coming. And I've been just so blessed and grateful to be at that, to have that happening for me. I'm so blessed and grateful. Sometimes it does slow down and I don't really have anything to work on. But what I end up doing is I like hustle and I find different projects to work on. And I do that all the time. And so I've been here since September 2020, and I've just been constantly and consistently working, and I'm just super grateful. I'm super grateful. So I'm continuing to network and meet new people and work on all types of cool projects. And it's just been really fun and fulfilling. Yeah, it's been very stressful at times, but I've been able to learn a lot of new things, meet a lot of new people, and just continue to grow as an editor and a producer. And I'm just so grateful and thankful. And I just really like LA. As things have opened up more, I've been able to go out more to different events, networking events, fun, engaging events. Like I just was at an event where it was called In Conversation with Ryan Coogler at Soho Warehouse in downtown LA. And that was amazing. Like we just were in this beautiful room at Soho, and Ryan was just talking to us about, Black Panther, and that was dope, and how he made it. And I'm so blessed and grateful. That's my LA story. If you have any questions, let me know.